only connect, hoping to connect to other actors, issues, social concerns.
Everybody's confidence is building. There's a lot of amazing art coming out of the room.
It's involved writing, team building, getting to know each other, and acting, of course.
I wanted to just try out something different with new people and just mix different creative styles together.
I'm going to ignore whatever negatives that I see and just grab the positives and hopefully fly away with it.
We've got a kind of two-pronged project at the moment, which is part of which is finishing Che's play, The Scorched Earth, and starting a professional production of that next year.
I left drama school 23 years ago, and I've managed to make a living as an actor, a writer and a director.
And the other half was delivering a series of drama workshops in Camden with 12 participants, drawn from Only Connect but also from Clean Break. Myself and Che, we would help them create their own material in response to this topic of heroin use across the ages.
You'll see an amazing show upstairs that we've worked really hard with and it's going to go well.
And then perform it at the Big Wednesday showcase. I was really amazed and excited by the stuff they came up with.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and count. Beautiful. 5, 6, 7, 8.
You always need to start with something to get focus, energy, and build a sense of a group dynamic.
A boogie, a boogie, a boogie, yeah! A boogie, a boogie, a boogie, yeah! A boogie, a boogie, a boogie, yeah! A boogie, boogie, washing her hair from the top. Ticklish.
I'm going to say someone's name, and all they have to say back to me is the word nuts. Joe.
It's a very popular thing called the bottle game, where one person flips a coin and then when it lands, is heads you squeeze, tails you freeze. Everyone passes a pulse along the line, and whoever gets the bottle first wins.
Excuses.
In pairs, we each had to think of a sunset.
Tell your partner the story of this sunset, but you're not allowed to speak, and you are not allowed to You're just going to look at them and just tell them. We can use language to actually obscure our deeper truth.
Surprising how much you can get out of it and how much you can communicate in that very simple gesture.
It was a beautiful sunset, but there's leaves in the sunset, I think. No,
It's good. Leaves.
Yeah, trees.
Yeah, I was looking at it through some trees and standing in a bunch of leaves, and I can smell the leaves burning as well.
Leaves and the leaves and the mud is everywhere, yeah.
There's a wood fire there with leaves on it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of vulnerability in the room, and the people getting in, looking inside and putting it out there. So it's scary, but it's also very freeing.
When we was jumping just now, we're just kind of warming up the body. But I'm going to say to you that writing is also physical. It's not just about the intellect. We're going to spend about 2.5 minutes writing out a dream.
What we did is we traded that dream with somebody else's.
Try and memorize as much of the story as you can.
It's night time, the wind's blowing in my face.
We've given them a situation that doesn't match what they're saying.
But who says it doesn't?
But who says it doesn't? He's right. He's absolutely right.
You had to use the dream text and say it as if it was the dialogue of the scene.
I was in jail. And the door opened. My dad was there and he shouted, "Oi! Someone's here to see you."
Great. Really nice. It's the fact that they're opening up to each other. That's what we kind of connect to.
There was nobody else here. There was just the two of us and what was happening. And that was the cover.
Yeah.
What was underneath was the emotion.
I then asked the participants to write a letter of confession of an addiction. We had some absolutely phenomenal pieces of writing.
And with this confession, I give to you a part of me that I have long lost down the hollow paths.
I asked everyone to think about how they would present that piece of writing to us.
Of anxiety's last innocent gaze.
Then we'd ask them to change it in some way.
Pause, stop. You just focus on what you're doing, and the rest of us, we're just going to walk with you, okay?
When she says again, a few times, maybe we could say again with you.
Yeah, so I can write suggestions through every crack left untouched by life. It always shows my tender side, which is quite nerve-wracking when I perform and show my writing. That's showing like the inside me from like when I was a kid. It feels good. It's like therapy. It's like releasing it and getting it out afterwards. It feels wicked.
We started just building up lots of little staging techniques, but then some of them we didn't have to tweak at all.
You loved me and cared for me. You taught me right from wrong.
Joe, for example, he came to us with that letter, fully formed, and he suggested the crawling, which took us all by surprise. In the end, we didn't want to tamper with that at all. The thing to explain about the performance was we didn't really want to force a narrative onto it. We wanted to respect the integrity of the individual pieces of writing that we'd been presented.
I went home buzzing last night. I really did. What wonderful work you guys are doing. Absolutely brilliant. And so brave.
We started with Kim with her poem Communicate, one of many brilliant pieces that she wrote during this workshop. Before we hit an iceberg, we could share this boat. It was just a wonderful kind of metaphor for opening the piece.
Words are what we have for signals. Let's communicate. People that have done any NA, they say a lot of jargon. One of them is you grow through pain. That's annoying, but and comedy. There's so much humour in this room, along with the tragedy. You know, you can flip it.
I got Kim and Jason and Kevin. Go make me a comedy.
What's that little mate down here? There's someone out there?
We're on the 19th floor.
They came up with this wonderful kind of interview scene, and they didn't know quite how it was going to take shape until they just improvised it on stage.
What's happening there, buddy? Did you get the drugs? Yeah. Give his phone. Rapper. What sort of American rapper is that?
With Kevin, he was very not keen on the idea of script writing.
Yeah, but I'm not a writer.
I know,
But we sat down and we worked on it. Kevin is a very funny man and he has a particular giggle and a smile that is infectious.
I hope nobody come back here and rob your ass because one day you talk a lot of shit.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I was thinking that to have all three of them, like the comedy aspect, the serious dramatic aspect, and the musical aspect, all cocktailed up. That's what I could see.
Joe and Joe, it was wonderful to see a very strong male relationship on stage, but also off stage. They worked so well together. The busker scene came out of the improvisation.
Is that you, Gary?
It spoke a lot to both of them. And they brought so much beautiful musicality to it.
Whoa, 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 wow. Chooks 9. Whoa, 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 wow. Beautiful people. Whoa, 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 wow. Wow. Story to tell. Yo, 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 oh, oh, oh.
Michael, again, that was his own piece of writing, the confession, like a letter to his mother.
I'll take a big go.
Another beautiful working relationship was the one that he had with Gia. And their kind of working relationship brought a brilliant energy and confidence to each other.
Say to Gia 3 things you've grown to admire and maybe even love about her.
Your writing.
Yes.
Look at him. Your flow style.
Yeah.
And your smile.
Yeah. You're a solid personality. You're charismatic and you're fun.
Gia's text, again, that was a beautiful piece of writing that she brought in response to the confession. What was great was to see it animated as a dialogue.
I've always known that my life would be short.
It never mattered where I would look. Where I live, it's safe and it's home. And some days, I live beyond what the eye sees.
But this thing they call life wasn't made for a girl like me.
Dancing and prancing, grooving, keep on moving.
What was nice is Freddie's kind of vision and dramaturgy for creating this plot.
The first one's always the worst one, but that uncontrollable sensation that manifests inside is a feeling that cannot be defined.
He managed to bring Sarah's poem, his own monologue, and Aaron's monologue together into a story of 3 people who were connected.
I hit that door, wind in my face, I'm gone.
Through each clenchingly naked night of long lament.
All I can feel is this broken record pulling on my heartstrings.
Again, again, those same 2 words now aching through my veins.
I foresee my own demise, and I can't let that happen.
Should I fool myself again, blindly follow you with it be fair? And another one. Yes.
Charlie and Fatima, that was a beautiful collaboration.
I really trust Charlie, and I also want to do justice to letting Charlie tell me his story. It's hearing from the other side of the cell, and I don't think that story is often heard.
I was taken from my family too, lost my fiancée and the little family we had. That included my dad.
He looks at me like I'm his saving grace. And that's what gets me through the hard times.
Hard times? Visiting orders, they drive me insane. No more visits for me, ever again.
Put down the chocolate, no man. I said to Fatima, I was like, I weren't confident with how I read and shit like that, and I was like, Fatima, can you proofread this for me? She was like, hold on a minute. Do you want to, like, it's weird because I'm getting your perspective and you're the man and you've been through the hard times, you've been through the shit, but I'm looking at it from a woman's perspective, and bruv, how mad is this? All we had to do was read, we sat down there and read each other's words, and then we'd stop at a certain bit and they just interlinked.
The very first thing I asked everyone to do was to bring in a song in response to the draft of Che's script. Fatima actually wrote a song on the spot for us, and that's what you can see her singing in that scene.
Is it because of things I do? And in this dream, I'm happy.
And what you can hear Aaron reading is also Fatima's dream, this flying dream. It was wonderful to give the closing moments that very genuine and uplifting piece.
Relationships don't last. Gliding over sparkling streams.
I'm starting anew.
Feels more like a state of grace.
When I return to myself,
Not surprised to be flying.
I'm humble. I'm through with heroin. I'm through.
So proud to be a part of Raging Farm.
Heartache of my eyes.
I love this kind of work because it's incredibly honest and it's very genuine and it comes from a really supportive place.
The freedom that they had to explore all sides of the kind of creative process.
I've worked with the most abstract and wonderful cast. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Having to learn to drop your mask, be vulnerable, let other people feel free to be vulnerable themselves.
Make me a better human being and hopefully an all-round better performing artist.
To be able to find an outlet for a lot of unused energy, a lot of unused creativity.
I need to harness like whatever negative or whatever animosity that I've got. I need to put that into my production.
Rose to the challenge. I admire and respect that.
I never stop being amazed by the stuff that they come up with, and I think they never stop surprising themselves either.
I really hope you don't stop. You've got to keep creating. And creating for its own sake. I think the atmosphere in this group is really unique and brilliant and can only get better.
There's a lot of very good talent here that we're keen to help continue to nurture however we can.
It's been a few years since we've had any contact.
Yes, I know. I didn't know if you were... Sorry.
They want to be sitting? Did they want to be moving? Did they want...
Turn around.
Rage, let off your rage, let your rage, and just come. Yeah, we wow, we rage and then we come, we wow.